the last things that's, people don't like to have uncomfortable conversations, I think, in any stage of your life. So one of the most important things I always say within teams is having conflict resolution processes in place. So whenever I work with a team or executive teams, we walk through and define and come up with a plan on when a conflict arises on the team. What is that process in communicating it? How do we show up and engage with each other? What's our decision-making processes around conflicts? And what is a de-escalation process? I think it's really important because it keeps, when you have a conflict resolution process in place, it keeps the conflict objective, not
Mm.
subjective. Because what happens is, because we're just humans, we're individuals on a teams, people can take things personally. It becomes very subjective, but really for the performance of the team, right? The group, keeping the objectivity is, one of the most important aspects, and not taking things personal. So to order to achieve that quicker, faster, with better results and better decisions is having a very well-defined de-escalation and conflict resolution process and plan in place.
Wow, Caroline, thank you so much again. I've heard you share your nuggets all the time, and again, very inspiring. The thing that just keeps coming back to mind for me is when, the insights you were sharing is there's a commitment to the work, which again can just breed silos. There's commitment to each other, like you mentioned in terms of the Navy SEALs, and there's a commitment to the overall success. When you look at many times leaders inherit teams. And most of the time, you hardly pick your team 100%. And the people on the teams have been there for such a long time. So they already have patterns in their minds. So a team has um, that has struggled in the times of commitment to each other and is like, well, it's Caroline, well, it's Richard. How do they break through that and have this new gusto? And like, I really want to pursue this commitment to the other person. While this person might have perks or some certain attitudes I really don't like, and I'll just rather have them as a work colleague than be committed to them. So any advice on how leadership teams can break through that we need to be committed to each other, not just the work, in order to really be high performing?
I think one of the things that's hardest as being a human is judgment, right? Judgment is a really good thing. Like if you judge well, you make good decisions, you have good outcomes. When you don't judge so well, the case is the latter. But I think what's really important, and it's my general philosophy, and I always say it when I'm working with teams, is if people knew better, they would do better. So I generally, again, coming to that camaraderie and that team spirit and goodwill and faith, that if people knew better, they would do better. So we tend to judge people because, like, oh, this person didn't work, as hard as I think that they should, or they didn't do a good job, or we have whatever filters of judgment. But I think if we are really present and we really come with new eyes, wanting the benefit and the commitment of the team, and escalating to our goals and doing what's best and what's better now, starting anew, then we'll look it through the eyes of, if people knew better, they would do better. And so that's in the past. And so now we all know better, right? We're coming together as a new team, right? It's like a refresh. Then we're going to do better. And I think that's what's really important. And that's what's really important in leadership. I think a lot of people discard their individual authority and power and energy that they bring to any workplace, any team, any interaction. So I always think that positivity wins, to be quite frank with you, and people feel your energy. So if you're positive and loving and kind, you can turn around some of the most negative naysayers to come around, because I think, in the spirit of love and team spirit, I think that, everybody just wants to be valued, seen, heard, and felt. And when you create that type of environment, you can get the best and highest performance, even from your underperformers.
All right, there we have it. Thank you so much, Caroline San Diego. Again, one of the insights Caroline has mentioned today that I will be thinking of after our session today is, in order for a team to be high performing, they have to be committed to the work, they have to be committed to each other, and they have to be committed to the overall success, not just one of them, but three of them. But again, coming from Caroline, the CEO of Utopia Life Consulting and Coaching, I didn't expect anything less. So Caroline, last words, if people want to reach out to you, how do they find you?
So I am on the internet. You can go to my website, www.caroline/santiago.com. And again, I invite a conversation. So if you have anything that you would like to discuss around performance, development, change, and transformation, I'd be more even happy to meet you. Very excited to meet you and have a conversation with you.
Okay, I've had a lot of wonderful one-on-one sessions with Caroline, and it's been super helpful. So I'm sure Caroline will be able to help. So Caroline, thank you again for joining us on this week's episode of Rich Nuggets. And as we always say, let's go out and do something wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.